the matchup
Ja
that we
gut,
will
dann
be
zieht sich
showing
das
is the
wie
purple
roter
versus the
Faden durch die
blue-green,
letzten
right? So,
DLCs und auch die nächsten
Ruizhe
CCQs.
versus
Da wird
Chun-Tat.
es nicht so viel
yeah,
Abwechslung geben, glaube ich.
Ruizhe
Ey, dabei
versus
war das
Chun-Tat. I think
die
these two
DLC, wo man ja noch mal hätte
folks
was zeigen
are,
können, weil bei so einem Best of
you know, have
One
done well to make it
kannst
so
du
far,
ja
but
nicht
I know they're
Game-Kicks
hungry for more. They're
rauslassen.
hungry for that top four. And guys,
Wieso nach
for those of
Game
you
1
who
ist
are
das Match
joining us,
sofort zu Ende.
I'd like to
So,
remind
hier,
you guys
jetzt
that
Ja,
weiß
now
klar.
we're shifted to a
Ciao.
BO3
Ja,
format.
hier.
It's no longer BO1.
60 items
So
dot deck
that's
easy.
why you see those diamonds underneath the colors
Easy.
of the ink symbols,
Wahrscheinlich
because
nichts damit zu tun.
if a player has won the previous
Ja.
game,
Aber ey,
then
vielleicht
the
demnächst
ink
Aber du
symbol
musst
would
halt
be
dann nicht.
considered.
Oh, I
Ja
see.
klar, aber du musst dann nicht irgendwie aus dem.
And
Ach, es
now
gibt
we
eh
can
keine
see that this
Sideboards.
is
Fuck.
purple
wieder
versus
Ja, gut.
Emerald Sapphire.
Item Bild.
And so far I
Ich
know,
könnte mir vorstellen, dass man
this
vielleicht finally mal arbeitet mit so
Emerald
Potion of
Sapphire
Malice,
is quite
Exkursion, um
different
den
from
Gegner so reckless zu geben,
our
Moment
prediction.
nicht.
Oh,
Because
really?
he plays
Hm.
detective as the
Ne?
Ich dachte mit dem Ding, was so
major
Damage
tactics.
Counter irgendwo drauflegt.
Ja, ja,
Chun-Tat
erstens
plays
ist das Potion of Malice.
a huge important role
Oh.
on Judy
Dann,
Hobbs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Judy Hobbs uncovering
aber dann,
clues.
And
für
also
1 und Tap macht
he
es halt
he
einen
left to
Damage-Counter,
use
aber du kannst es auch
Okay.
likes to use
verbannen, damit
the
alle
Basil,
Charakter mit Damage-Counter Reckless
the
bekommen.
6-drop, the shift,
Nächste
the
Runde.
Ah,
shift
okay.
Basil, the detective one.
Und
The
du
shift
hast
one,
ja
the
jetzt,
shift one, yeah.
du hast so 6
So and that's why
mit denen du
Ruizhe
dir
is
so ein
now
Item
looking
wieder
at
zurückholen
the
kannst.
Chun-Tat's
Und jetzt hast du aber
what
auch
he's
noch so
inking.
einen 4-Drop.
Yeah, so I think to recap the effect, right? So
Yeah.
basically, if you ink any cards in your ink well this turn, you can pay 1 cost, and if you do, you can discard a card at random from your opponent's hand.
Winnie the
Yes,
Pooh bringt das
Yeah.
Item zurück aus dem Ablagestapel auf.
And as we all know
Ja,
that
und weiß nicht, ob man damit
the
nicht ein bisschen
sustainability
so
of
eine
Blurple
Kursion machen könnte.
is very strong, and because of
Ja klar, dieser
there
Tamator
are
holt ja
a
auch
lot
so
of
zwei
draw
Items
engines
zurück.
for Blurples, and
Ja, klar.
and this is a huge threat that
Du kannst halt mit
Ruizhe
Sapphire
should
Coil
pay
so arbeiten
attention on.
theoretisch und dann immer so
And that's why
Galactic
he took a look
Communicator und
at
X zurückholen und mit
Chun-Tat's
Galactic
Inkwell.
Communicator
Yeah, I mean, look, anytime
dann
there's a
deinen
card that
Tamator
I'm
wieder rausnehmen,
unfamiliar
nachdem
with,
du
I'm
selber
definitely going to be
-2
picking up the
gegeben
card and
hast.
reading it first
Und dann
before
kannst du
letting the
den
game
Gegner
continue
theoretisch
on,
so
man.
Potion of Medicine
But I'm
jede
interested to see,
Runde.
you know, you're talking about the Judy
er dann
Hobbs
halt nie wieder
uncovering
raus. Scatter
clues,
Gap.
right?
Ja.
This card that we saw right at the start of our day, right? We saw the blue
Factool.
seal player play
Das
it,
können wir
At the
you know,
first
the first game,
round.
Aber
correct?
vielleicht.
And to
Aber es
recap
fehlen,
this
glaube ich, leider ein
effect, right?
bisschen
When
so
you
Popsicle-mäßige Items.
and whenever she quests,
Um wirklich auf viele
look at the
Items zu
top
kommen
3
und dann
cards
noch Onkel Dagobah
of your deck. You may reveal
Was
the
natürlich
detective
auch sehr fehlt,
character
ist so
card and
Tamator.
put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order.
So ein Deck gab's ja
So yeah,
früher,
really
den Trio
interesting
Deck.
card, and I'm guessing you playing the
Mhm.
card
Das
for
war cooler
the to find the basil.
Yes, and now we can see that Ruizhe is doing the double ram and leading him to get a 6 inks right now, and that's a huge signal for Chun-Tat because he's only just 4 ink, and he has to do something to
Ja, der
ready
Blau ist auf jeden Fall ihn
for
ordentlich am
solve
Outringen
the Rage's board.
bisher. Aber man würde
Er
jetzt
scheint
sagen,
einfach zu wissen, wie man gegen
So,
Clarabelle
let's have a
spielt.
look at
Einfach. Da wird die Hand
Chun-Tat's
leer
hand
gemacht
to see
irgendwie, so
how
dass selbst der
he
Donald
how he
Duck da
wants
nicht
to
mehr viel
do
dran irgendwie.
ganz
So
Ne?
you
genau.
can
Es
see
ist
that
halt.
7 drops, but Basil.
Basil,
is
so
on-
many
is
seven.
on-
Muss man
Is it
auch ganz
3?
früher-
He's holding 3 basils, isn't he?
Wenn man
Oh,
sich zu-
oh,
Yeah, that's
yes,
3.
oh my, wow.
Set 3
And these are
oder 4.
quite poor start for Chun-Tat.
Ich glaube 3 war es schon. Als die Leute angefangen haben,
Let's
so
have a look.
Ruby, Sapphire,
Yeah,
Items
no,
zu
He's
spielen.
thinking
but I
probably
mean, look,
Sisu on
he
Ice
will-
und so, ne?
he will
war
put
auch
Ja.
them on the
Oh
inkwell.
yeah, wenn du so zu viel
yeah, I mean,
Programm
look,
und so die reinlässt, dann hast du
for a
halt voll die fette
blue-green
Hand.
player, I
der
would
Ember-Stil-Spieler macht dann Holy
much
World
prefer, you know, to
Und in
be
Wirklichkeit
playing
killst du
something
einfach
like
so deine
the
ganze Hand
Cinderella
mit
here,
Fishbone-Quill, sodass, wenn
so
der
that
Gegner
you
Holy World
can
ausspielt,
start
er
ramping up
total
even
im Arsch
harder, right?
ist.
I mean, look at the Blurple player. Blurple player
Und er
doesn't
konnte
actually
es
have
ja
too
auch
many
nicht
4-drops.
machen,
Doesn't have
weißt du?
any
Also
4-drops
von
on
daher-
his side of the field right now.
Das war so der Plan.
Plays
Und ja, den finde ich ja
all
auch
the
gar nicht so
1-drops that
schlecht.
he
Player
has.
seine Hand eher als
Interesting.
Blurple
Plays the
Guy.
Donald
Erstens
Duck as well.
willst du
You
noch
are
rumziehen.
right. This is actually a
Zweitens wird der Gegner noch
detective
schön
variant
forcen, dass du ziehst.
of
Deswegen finde ich auch Maximum
green,
Random
which is
Match
not
auslassen, ist voll
on my
gut.
bingo cards, but the fact that he's made it here makes me think maybe this deck has actually got something that which we're not seeing.
I think using detectives as the core, meaning that he can have more draw engine to sustain his hands. Especially when he looks for Donald Ducks or something like Basil, and he could use Judy, the uncovering crew, to seek for it easily.
Yeah, I mean, look, the detectives engines may be a little bit better than what we expected, but I think this is something that we need to dig in a little bit deeper, to kind of
aber es ist ja
be
die
detectives
Hectic-Tables. Ich
ourselves to
weiß
see
nicht,
whether
ich
this
glaub
deck is
nicht.
actually something worth looking into. But look
glaub, der
at the
Donald Duck
side of
spricht dagegen.
Blurple right now. The fact is that we've seen so few big drops. There we go. Makes me question to see whether he has something like the Hades in his hand. And true enough, he does
Ja,
have the
wäre ein
Hades
Hades
Infernal
für den Donald
Schemer.
Duck, aber jetzt kannst du immer
And
nicht
this is
davon
going to send one card directly into
Oder kannst
the
jetzt auch
Inkwell.
mit
Chooses to
Tifo.
put
Ja,
the,
genau,
the
geil.
Donald Duck Perfect Gentleman there. And
he
So
puts
wie letzte Runde
Chun
schon.
in a
Easy.
very tough
Da
yeah,
wollte der
Chun is
Donald
not in a
Duck ja
good
nicht da
position. There was
rein.
not enough.
Weil er dann
because Junta's
There's nowhere for him to
hand
draw.
Ja,
couldn't
getradet gewesen wäre
answer
von Rafiki
his
und jetzt
Hades
zusätzlich ist dann noch
because once
Potenzial, dass er
you
überfahren
can't use the basil on
Da sieht
Hades
man, dass
because
dieser
he will bounce back and
Guy auf
use
der
it
linken
again.
Seite,
So this is not an
dass
option.
er halt Pro-Player
So
ist,
we can
weil
see
er sein
that
Tipo
the
wieder ready
shift
gemacht hat.
Clarabelle has already
Den Root
drawn
Ball.
it, and however, Ruizhe has only one castle in hand, and so not sure Chun has what he's going to do.
Yeah, so Shintat here, he is going to be tapping 7 to bounce back the other Basil into the hand just so that
Basil on
Razor
Basil
can't
violence.
support with it. We do see a trade coming out using the
Finally.
Donald Duck focused
Tipo
flatfoot
abgemutzt mit
there
Donald Duck, aber jetzt
to
gleich.
get rid of the Tipo. And now it's
das
over to Razor.
Küchengewürz
Shintat
Mirror.
not in an ideal spot, but not in the worst spot either,
Das
considering that
Küchengewürz Mirror.
he
Ja.
is
Mit dem
playing
Basilikum, ja.
this kind of detective
Ja,
card
ja,
here,
ja.
right? We don't actually see. Look at the list. He doesn't
Im
actually play
Herbarium.
any Hades
Wow,
Infernal
den
Schemers
Ausdruck
here,
kenn ich
which
nicht.
we normally would see
okay.
in this kind of deck. But we
Oh,
But
he
I-
doesn't play any.
no, he doesn't play. Yeah, he doesn't play any Hades Infernal Schemers there. But we do see him playing the Prince Philip combination still. Obviously, kind of valuing the board wipe potential that the deck has. But he is playing much slower than I think.
The Rafiki,
Yeah, he
the trade with of Donald Ducks with Rafiki is very crucial. Wow, he spammed all his hands out.
Yeah, but look, spamming the hand is kind of really good here for Razor because
Naja,
Razor,
gut. Kommt
the
jetzt
moment
der
he top stacks a
andere
Demona,
C
he's gonna instantly
oder so?
draw 3.
Yeah.
Right, so I think
gelogen.
Razor does not mind being handless or not
And-
having any cards in hand at this point. Also, in case
Das meint being
Shintat
handless,
plays
aber
Bend in My
auch,
Will,
das wollen wir
right?
mal sehen.
Yes.
Then he could the Bend in My
Das fänd ich
Will
nämlich schon
be a little
gut.
bit more useless at this point.
So he, wow,
really good.
really good play. He chose to use Basil to bounce back the Hades and use another Basil to discard the problem.
Yeah, look, Basil undercut.
These are
Richard
very
Sanchez.
good
Yay, das hat man früher im
Ja,
Magic
Basil
gerne
undercut
auch gemacht
covered
irgendwie.
detective
Hier, ich
activity
bounce das auf die
actually
Hand
once
und
the
dann
bounce
discard mal eine
before
Karte
Basil
at
goes
random.
hand.
Klar,
And the
geil
second
ist das.
one, whenever this card
Ja.
quests, you can
Noch ein
choose
Spectre, Lock.
your opponent to discard one card at random, right? And when your opponent doesn't have a card in his hand, you just go for the biggest thing, right? And so you can get rid of the board.
Basil im
It's
Tag
kind of
Team.
a
Ich dachte,
single
das wird
target
voll geil,
removal in
kommen
that
wir
state.
schon in Set 2,
Yeah,
da
for the
gab's so eine
Razor right
Daisy.
now, he
Die
has to
war
solve the
in
problem
Emerald, war die für
created
4 mit
by
Tintensymbol, 2,
2
3 mit
Basils.
2 Law Value
Because
und
if he
wenn
keep
die erkunden
discarding
hat,
his
hast du eine Karte
card
at random
in
abgeworfen.
hand, he can't he
Und
can't
ich dachte
hold
so,
his
oh, voll
weapons.
super bitter.
He can't
Am
keep
Ende
the
hab ich Daisy
answers
Duck und du
to
hast
solve
nichts.
the problems
Und
that
dann kannst du die Karte
Emerald
entweder
Sapphire
ziehen und auf der
could
Hand
give
behalten
to
oder
him.
ausspielen.
Yeah, kind of like
Wenn
this
du
version of
ausspielst, dann
Emerald
brauchst du
Sapphire,
viele
hey? I mean,
Optionen.
look, you are
Und das ist
bounced. Now
Gegner.
your way of
Aber es
removal
ist
is
nie
just by
passiert.
bouncing. And on top of that, the moment you bounce the character, you're able to get rid of it with another Basil undercover detective on your side. And if you have no other Basil undercover
Am Ende gab's
detective on
geilere
your side,
Möglichkeiten,
you
den Gegner
then
voll fertig zu machen mit
shift your
halt
focus to the
Prince
other
John und
Basil,
so,
right? The
Discard und dann
Basil
die
disguised
Vierte.
detective.
Und die anderen noch.
So
Ja,
there
ja.
you go. I think this
Das waren
deck is
Zeiten.
showing its worth right now. We do see a Rafiki trading into the Basil, so there is one
Ja, okay, Rafiki 3 Warum
willpower
hast du dich
left
vorher
on that
erkundet mit
Basil.
Basil?
He will be using a Cheshire Cat and a boost, it
Ach
seems,
so, und damit
to kind of
verschiebst du den
shift
Schaden
damage.
jetzt
But
auf
where is he shifting damage to? To
Clarabelle?
Clarabelle, maybe? But shifting damage to the Clarabelle here doesn't. I mean, it banishes the Clarabelle and it
Ach so,
prevents.
wow,
There we go. It's
wow.
because he wants to get rid of 2 cards at once, right? He wants to use the
Okay.
Rafiki to get rid of the Basil after
Schwierige Line.
making the math a little bit more
Wait a minute.
more perfect, I guess, for Rachel's side.
Now you can see that Razor and Chunta is right now is
Da wird
compared
ja noch was
very
gehen. Der bleibt gleich jetzt das
intensively
Lore
because
pushen auf jeden
they are
Fall. So
all
viel hat er
they
ja
are
noch nicht.
they are both
Das ist
players
zu befürchten,
wanted to grab
dass
the
das nicht mehr
the
reichen
majority
wird,
the,
diese-
the
aber er
active
playt gut,
chance
indem
of
er
the
halt von oben
game.
playt. Clarabelle macht gar nichts. Handkarten, no.
And
Oh, we do see the
and the
enchanted.
Normal
malicious
so wie
mean and
Sandkasten,
scary
ja,
has
aber
been
diesmal
has
nein.
been played.
Ja,
Just wants to get rid of
Pause.
Basil, I guess. The Basil practice detective there. Inks with the T-Pose.
Clean up
Nee.
his hand.
Yeah, that's about it. So Inks T-Pose.
Nee, die gibt's ja auch.
Razor is now top dead.
Ist das
Nee.
JavaScript?
Yeah, I mean that's why I mean Clarabelle.
Nee, das JavaScript hat so NaN, so not a number irgendwie.
Body,
Den
so you
Fick
are
kennt man.
able to.
Ja, genau, das macht JavaScript
You
gerne.
are
Es ist
able to
super
just
geil,
use it
was
to
genau
swing
alles
into some
interpretiert wird
characters
als
on
dann
Ruizhe's side of the
NaN.
field. But other than that, I think the drawing portion of that of the Clarabelle here isn't going to be super effective. Ruizhe, I wonder what card he has in his hand. I mean, if he knows that Basil is just gonna quest and discard the card in his hand, he's probably thinking of
Was ist das mit dem Batman am Ende?
Ja, ich wollte schon sagen,
potentially
ja,
something
ganz
like
genau.
the bell.
Das ist der Watch Talk. What?
Ja,
genau der.
So,
Ja, den kenne ich. Der ist super lecker.
Okay, so Ruizhe has the genie.
Aber dann ja auch
Right?
hier, was ist denn
Genie
so
is
Empire
evasive
State
right now, and
Building
Chun
divided
doesn't
by
have any
Batman?
way to deal with the genie.
Oh,
Chun
yeah, it's
need
not a
is
number. Da
probably
hast du
use
recht,
the
ja,
MMS
JavaScript.
to get rid of the Basil practice detective, so that he can't do any kind of support combinations to get rid of that Basil,
Yeah.
of the
Ja, hilarious.
Basil undercover detective
Bin
on
ich
chose
Chun
it
Tat's
with-
side.
mit JavaScript.
Genie right now.
Yeah,
Ich verlinke den mal in den
the
Chat
genie,
hier.
right? I mean, the genie is
Na klar,
currently
gerne.
quote unquote untouchable by Chun Tat. Okay, so we see the
meinst,
magical
damit die Leute
maneuvers
sich noch
here
was
being
eindenken
played, and this is why
Ja.
chose to quest the genie, because
Für
you
alle,
play
die ein
genie
bisschen mit
out,
HTML oder
before,
JavaScript
right?
fummeln.
And then you can draw a card
What?
for you from that genie, and so you're just gaining more hand resources. But if you
Ja,
gain
das ist
more
das einzige
hand
Gute an
resources,
JavaScript, ist, dass
you're
man dann
just gonna
sagen
get
kann, so, ey, ich mach
discarded.
JavaScript und das HTML machst
So.
du. Weißt du?
Not
Als
sure. I
Möglichkeit,
mean,
um
you
Szenarien
can
zu
now
avoiden, wenn
remove
man
the
schon zu
heal,
tun haben
quote
muss
unquote,
mit
Once you
Website.
draw
genie?
more cards and
Aber am
Kerbal
allerbesten von
gain
allen
a
macht
slight
beim so Backend.
advantages from that. And
Ironically dann so,
that's
oh yeah,
what
mit
you
Node.js
when you
kann man
play
Backend oder
when you're
machen.
using Blurple, you have to consider whether you keep your
Find
hand
ich.
size in
Hab ich für meine
a lower
Bachelorarbeit das
limit,
Backend mitgemacht.
whether you keep
Ah,
drawing
ja.
and let Kerbal to draw cards. And you can see that Juntat has both, can do both, and he has Basil, but also he has the Kerbal.
Yeah, look, Ruizhe here played the
okay.
genie, drew a card, trying to figure out
machen
whether
wir
he wants to
gleich
ink
den
this
PHP
card to
besser
let it get discarded the next turn by Chun Tat. Curious to see what card Ruizhe eventually got in his hand.
So muss
I
ich
do
ja
want
dann
to
noch
say
einen
that
Container haben, wo
if
das
it's
drin
an
läuft,
inkable
weißt du? Hätte ich mir
card,
sonst sparen können.
Ah,
then
ja, klar, klar.
you could potentially use Cheshire to get rid of the Basil because you could shift using a
Aber
boost
dann-
and
ach so,
then
nee,
you
genau.
get rid
Wobei-
of the Basil
Richtig, der
yourself.
Unterschied war,
But let's see that. Oh, it's a
Oh!
Hades Inferno Schemer.
Datenbank
And that's
anbinden
why he
müssen,
couldn't-
PHP.
He couldn't ink it.
Yeah, he
Und
couldn't ink it, he
mit
couldn't play it, and that's
JavaScript konnte ich ja
probably
dann
the
so
worst outcome that
lokal den
Ruizhe was hoping that he
TXT-File
wouldn't
erzeugen.
draw into at that point in time.
Ach so, ich dachte, du
because,
nimmst einfach so
right
SQLite
now,
oder
Hades
so.
would
Die
have
gibt's
been
ja auch
so
dann schon
good in
irgendwie
this
auf.
board. Chun Tat is top decking.
Ja,
Clarabelle after
ja.
Clarabelle, indeed very light on her
Ah.
moves, coming straight into Chun Tat's hand. And Chun Tat is going to be pretty happy with having 5-6 body on the board, which quests for 2, because Ruizhe, without Hades in front of Schemer, can't really answer these Clarabelles.
It becomes a very hard question for Razor to solve because there are two Carabels with 5-6 bodies on
Okay.
the board. And you
Yep.
have to solve both to stop Chuntat drawing cards.
Yeah, not only both, right? You also have to stop the Basil. The Basil right here is just getting rid of all of Ruizhe's hand if Ruizhe can't empty it every single turn. So we see, yeah, there we go. We do see the answer finally. The Cheshire having to deal with the Basil, and now Ruizhe's hand is safe, quote unquote, for now, right? For now. If Chuntat draws into the Basil disguise detective, right, then there's a good chance that he can just keep discarding cards. Dumbo is the card that Rachel wanted to see, though. It is going to be able to get him back into the game.
But Razor has to find out the answers. But he has already. He's Hades. He has already lost to Hades. So right now, I'm afraid of he's looking for Into the Unknown or Demoner, or I'm not sure if Demoner is right. Is a good choice right now, but I think he's looking for Into the Unknown.
Yeah, Into the Unknown here would be extremely clutch from the side of Rachel, right? I think he needs more Hades as well, because the Hades is also a pretty good answer. Because right now, Chuntat can't really do much, even if he has Ink, because he doesn't have any hand cards, right? So Hades is going to be a sufficient answer. But we do see Quest for 4 from coming out from Chuntat, which brings him up to 10, and it's just going to be a pass. I wonder what card Chuntat's have been holding. I mean, he didn't do anything of his Ink this time around.
I can see he still keep another malicious mean and scary, right? Is it?
Wow, ich dachte,
Yeah, I mean, look, I have no idea, but right now Ruizhe is
Aber
going to be
naja, anscheinend
using
mittlerweile
the
fragen
breaking
sich, oh, das
records
scheint doch
ability
Best of
from
Three, genau,
Dumbo,
jetzt
where
sehen wir
you
das
can
Best of Three.
tap one,
but-
exert the
Oh,
character,
jetzt überdenken
play
wir,
one
ob es
ink,
wirklich
and
war.
then
Da
you
muss
get
vielleicht doch mal
draw
ein
a
bisschen
card
das
and gain a
Interface
lore,
lesen.
which
Du
is
hast
an
recht, vorhin
incredibly
ist es
strong
schon voll
ability,
out.
which also
Weil
gives
jetzt gerade kann
its
man es
own
gerade
ability to
sehen.
other
Wir
evasive
überdenken
cards,
hier diesen,
where
diese
Genie,
Icons.
cards like Genie can use the breaking records, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's so
Dabei
strong.
sind wir doch viel
It's going
ikonischer.
to
Ah.
Vor allem
gaining
du.
back the advantages from Chun.
Der
But
literally
Chun
nur ein
Ja, ich bin
seems they're too clever about
eher
it.
immobiler,
Ah.
genau.
5-6
Ja,
are
ich
also
brauche so
still
ein
the
GIF
problem.
oder so ein GIF.
Yeah.
Oder
Even
der
though
Mund ab und an
you
auch mal
play,
zugeht, weißt du, so als
support,
PNG-Tuber oder so.
you still has to find
müsste
another
das sein,
challenger
genau.
to
Ja,
get
Mann.
rid of it.
Ja, wieso hier,
there we go.
wie
Okay,
die
but
Kanadier bei
this is
South
That's
Park.
scary. Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So the board
The
wipe
what-
happens. There's
Damn,
no
nice
hands from
combo.
Ruizhe. Ruizhe was probably
Ja,
hoping
super
to
zu Ende.
Hat er erst mal
spread the
gemacht,
board
vorhin
around a
musste
little
es ja
bit more.
ohne, hat er
Chun-Tat
MMS
has
rausgelassen,
access
ohne
to the
Prinz
malicious
irgendwie,
mean and
glaube ich.
scary combination there. We do see a sync. We do
Zwischendurch
see the
mal.
Rafiki come down. Ruizhe at this point in time
Aber
is just
naja.
going to be playing
Oh, ja,
the
nice.
Rafiki and just passes it over to Chun-Tat.
This is a very
Äh,
desperate draw.
Yeah, look, there's no way
And
because it's
war noch mit den
Probably
Ladies
this is
busy.
game one.
Oh, there's
not-
not,
yeah,
there's
vorbei.
not enough.
Auch, ja, bestimmt, ne?
So Chun-Tat miscalculated, thought he had gained, but
Ja.
Ruizhe decides to continue playing it on. I mean, look, this is probably just good manners,
Ich hab mal so
right? So
Interview
continues to
gesehen
play
mit
the
Prinz.
game
Der war
out,
auch so, ja, ey, ich finde, der
decides,
ist eigentlich
look,
und
there's
so
nothing
Feedback,
much
was die
else
Leute
I
von dir
can
halten.
do.
Manche sagen ja
So
auch so schlechte
finally
Sachen
scoops and
über dich.
goes into Chun-Tat's favor for game number one.
This is
Ja, aber warum soll ich das
amazing
denn lesen?
matchup
Ich lese
because
lieber so, wie die
I've
Leute
never
gute
seen
Sachen sagen über dich. Ist doch viel
a
angenehmer.
detective
Ich denk mir so,
Sapphire
ja, okay.
Emerald
Ja.
will get into the
Oh,
top 8
genius
Bist du
bracket,
Jeck?
and especially he can keep the
Das kann's.
game very intensively
ja.
to down players hand
Für
size
Purple,
to
also
very
keine Ahnung, vielleicht liegt's
one or
daran, weil dieses
two,
Format
keep
jetzt auch
very
schon so
low
ausgelutet
and
ist, ne? Man
and
kennt ja
keep
mittlerweile
the
eigentlich so die ganzen
the
Matchups,
tension of the game
aber man
is
weiß
very
eigentlich so, wie es laufen
intensive.
wird.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean,
Dann
this
nur
match
so,
was
ja, es läuft
was
wieder wie gewohnt
one
und
side.
dann passiert
Wasn't
das
one-sided
wahrscheinlich wieder.
until it was,
Also
right?
ich
I
bin
think the
gespannt.
key play
Aber wir
here
haben
from
schon so
Chun-Tat,
Upsets
the
gesehen,
the
ich
road
glaub
to
gar nicht.
victory was the double basil. It was the double basil under the cover
Triple
detectives.
basil.
I mean, he inked one, right? So, but he
Ja.
played two. I think that was the key.
Gab's da
turn,
nicht
right, where he
anfänglich
got
in der
rid
zweiten Runde
of,
irgend so ein Deck von so einer
the
Frau oder
opponents
so?
of Blood Bowl's, Hades,
Irgendwas
and he
Merkwürdiges
just
war
managed
da.
to
Das
just
war-
get
ja,
rid of
das
cards
war
from
keine Frau.
Ruizhe's
Wir haben
hand.
noch so spekuliert.
It wasn't even
Und
the fact
abgefahren
that
dachte
Ach so.
Chun-Tat got rid of that many
Aber die
cards.
Kommentatoren
It was just the
zumindest haben
threat
Yi und so
of doing
gesagt.
it, right? So that means
Der hatte
whatever
halt so einen
card Ruizhe
asiatischen Namen,
drew,
dass ich dir
he
nicht vom
had to
Vornamen
play it.
hätte
If
sagen
not,
können,
it would
dass
have been discarded.
ein männlicher oder
Hey,
weiblicher Name
Brian,
ist.
Yes.
I heard you are very addicted to Emerald
Klar,
Sapphire.
der hatte halt
That's
lange
right.
Haare und so eine
What's your
Mini-Maushaarspange,
opinion
aber das hat ja
about
nichts zu heißen.
on
Ich dachte,
Chun-Tat's
es
build?
war ein Guy und
I
dann
mean, it's
kam
interesting,
raus,
right? It's focused a
war ein
lot
Guy.
on, I think, single
Naja.
target removal, right? You
Jedenfalls,
have your Basil. It's playing a very
diese
heavy
Matchups,
count
ja,
of
irgendwie
Basil
werden die
Undercover
langweiliger. Zum
Detective.
Glück
It's
kommt demnächst
also
das neue Set
playing
ein.
stuff like the Judy Uncovering
ist in 2
Clues,
Wochen,
as well as
ne?
the Donald Duck Focus Flatfoot. It's not the
Jo,
way I
Nee,
would
das
have
am
preferred to
13.
build
oder
the
so.
deck, right? Because you're cutting out things like your Under the
Nee,
Sea, for
Rift
example,
ist nicht
you can play
Release
Wills.
am, nee,
But
Release
I
ist
mean,
am
our
13.
answer is
Dann,
Bend in my will
Rift
discards your
Bomb
whole
Release
hand,
ist
but
am 13.
and I'm just doing, and you're
Rift
typically
Bomb
using,
Release ist doch
I guess, Bend
heute,
in my
oder?
will to discard maybe 3 or 4 cards.
das ist
But I
nächste
can do it
Woche.
one by
Nächste
one,
Woche.
every single turn.
Ja, am
Aren't they just doing the same
6.,
thing?
7. oder so.
Immer noch recherchiert
All right, so
haben.
I think
Am
it's
6.
very
natürlich
it's a very
habe ich
interesting
keine
way
Zeit, aber
for
am
you
7.
to
hätte ich
play
Zeit. Das
the
wäre ja cool,
the Emerald
Release.
Sapphire build. So I'm definitely gonna have to think about the way that he kind of constructed his deck and really break down, you know, what's different. I mean, from what I've seen, just looking at the list right
Egal,
now,
wir
there's
sehen
nothing
Ting
that really
Chun
stands out
Tat
to me
oder
in terms
Tat
of
Ting
things that
Chun
have been
vermutlich,
cut.
hatte Ramp am Start. Bei ihm ist alles
Yeah, I mean,
glücklich,
he plays
selbst on the
Steeples,
draw.
he plays the sails, he
Und
plays the visions, he
Guo.
doesn't play
Machen Sie so
to
den
develop your
Vornamen am
brains,
Ende
but
oder
I guess
was?
that's
Dieser geile
fine.
Dings heißt
So,
Ruizhe
yeah,
oder
I
was?
mean, right now, looking at the
Ja,
list,
es ist
it
so.
must be
Ist es
because, you
nicht
know, you've
irgendwie
been
so in
here
den
for,
asiatischen Ländern die
since the
Präferenz, dass der
first round.
Vorname halt
Whenever
Nothing else
irgendwie,
that
ne?
stands out to me.
Und
Whenever you
deswegen
play
hatten wir vorhin ja auch den
detective game,
Schmidt-Guss
which
Harald
means
irgendwie.
there are at least 20 cards
Gauss
has
hieß er,
already
glaub
Mit Gauss Harald.
Ja,
Ja.
genau,
in
stimmt.
this list. So
Stimmt, heißt ja so Schmidt-Gauss Sacher, aber da war kein Platz mehr und das
So,
haben sie dann
right
gecuttet
now we are
irgendwie,
going
weil
to
diese deutschen
take a look
Namen,
at the game two,
diese
and
Rolf Otto
like
vor
you,
dem er es vorbei
Ruizhe
hat.
will go first,
What?
and we can see that
Also,
he has
so
a
Teilnahmen
lot
sind ja
of
wohl
ramping
länger.
cards on his hand.
Also du hast natürlich
Yeah.
recht.
I mean, look,
Das
with Purple, if you're
famously
going first, right, you definitely
läuft
want to
Otto vor
be
dem
double
Genschen
ramping
Felde,
against blue-green. I think
der
that's the way
geil
to actually
ist,
come back into the game.
nachdem
If you-
der
Yeah, if you're going first, you want to
für den
gain
Namen in der
the card of,
Player-Datenbank
sorry, the
bemessen
ink
ist.
advantage over blue-green and slowly try to thin out,
Oder
or
zumindest
rather,
gewesen
Hätten die nicht einfach
teams lose
255
value,
nehmen können,
right,
so wie
inside of the
alle?
local player.
And during this mulligan, we
Nee,
can
das haben
see
sie aber
that
nicht gemacht.
Razor
Man
keep
hätte es schon
the
machen können, na
Demona
klar.
on his hand. So
Aber
perhaps
bist
he
du sicher, dass Otto
wants
vor dem
to
Genshin-Feld
he
nicht
wants
mehr als
to use this
255?
Demona to do something to stop Chun-Tat
Ich weiß
from
nicht, ob wir noch so viel Sendezeit haben, das zu überprüfen.
from
Weißt du
playing
eigentlich, was hier aus dem geworden ist?
spreading his tempo.
Nee.
So let's see when he reached 6 inks, what happened.
Er war auch schon
And
was älter, oder?
Razor
Zu
is
unserer
deciding
Zeit.
whether
Eben,
he
genau, richtig.
used
Der war
Sail
halt älter
or
als wir. Der
used,
müsste halt dann jetzt,
Timo.
aber auch wahrscheinlich auch nicht so giga,
And
ne? Es kann sein,
it's
dass er
quite
so 10, 20
a
Jahre
hard
älter ist als wir.
thinking for
Aber nicht so,
Razor
dass er jetzt schon tot ist oder so.
because
Deswegen,
yeah,
eigentlich
he's
müsste der
probably
ja noch irgendwo
using
sein.
Tipo. He wants it.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Ink Tipo.
Er hat die
Ja.
beste
think he's
Technik.
Kann ja
wanting
nicht
to
jeder.
use Tipo.
Er
I
lungert immer
mean,
so in der
if
Gay-Bar.
you don't ink the Tipo is there to
Und
kind
ich
of
dann so,
just
oh yeah, aber
be a
why?
threat to the Basil, right? But
Und er so,
we'll
na ja,
have to see what
Weil diese
decision
Gay
Razor
Guys
here
kommen
makes.
voll
But
oft
okay,
so
so I
mit
I
do.
ihrer
think
besten
differences
Freundin und du bist
between
dann der einzige
Sail to
Hetero-Dude
Sail to
da.
SLC and Tipo is that Sail can let you
What
pitch
a
your deck
tech.
because you can draw one card.
Yeah, exactly. You're going through your deck a little bit faster. Allows you also to have one more hand card in your hand,
Wow,
right?
he has
But
two
with-
sails.
Yeah, but we
Wow.
look, I think with the Demona here, right?
Da bist du
I
jetzt
think
erstmal fasziniert,
going,
du konntest dir das auch in die
emptying
Gay-Bar
out
zu
your
gehen
hand
lassen.
as fast as you can is actually the right play because
Ja, ich frage mich,
then
warum
you
Turn
can just
2 so
use
lange
Demona
gedauert
to
hier.
get,
Ich war schon
everything
öfter in der
inside the deck
Gay-Bar,
while the
von
opponent
daher
has
so
the,
ist
the opportunity to discard
Nice,
your
wo denn?
hand.
Im Gen LM
And I
oder
was
was?
talking with a good friend,
Hm?
Jacob,
Im
who,
Gen LM oder wo
won
warst
the
du?
Singapore DLC, and we
yeah.
talked about the Blurple matchup
Ich weiß nicht, ob es Gentle
they
M
said
war.
and we
Meistens
agreed
so
in the blue-green
tatsächlich hier in
matchup, you are
Essen, da
able to
unten
just
am
discard
Café
this,
Nord und
clear
so.
out
Da
your
gab es ja
hand
auch die
using,
Sauna und
say, the UC,
ich glaube das
using
Phoenix
Tipos, you keep Demona,
und
right?
so
And
anderen
on
Kram
turn
irgendwie.
Ah, okay, nee, die
4
kenn ich
or
nicht. Ich
turn
kenn
5,
nur
you play
dieses
the
halt Gen
Demona,
LM
you're
da
gonna
auf-
make
da am
maximum value
Kopfstadtplatz,
from the
wo früher
Demona,
so
but just
Burger
by
King
drawing
gewesen ist.
cards, right? It's kind of like your new age draw engine.
Mhm.
Whereas on the side of the blue-green
Ja,
player,
Ja,
if the
nee.
opponent doesn't
Es
have
gibt
the
noch so den
opportunity
Movie
to
Man.
kinda
Kennst du den
clear out
Movie
your
Man?
hands, then they just,
Ah, okay.
yeah, I mean, they just don't get the value from the Demona.
Yeah. So
By the
let's-
way, I managed to
Ja gut,
figure
gucken wir
out
mal
what's
hier. Wir haben so
not in his
Basils
deck
am
for-
Start.
for
Jetzt kommt
the
vermutlich
standard,
Ramp.
I guess, green
Aber
blue
volle
list,
Pulle,
right?
ne?
He's not
Basil
playing the
versus
Cinderellas, he's
Basil
not
und
playing the
Basil.
John Silvers, he's not playing the
Also
Developed
schon ein
Brains.
bisschen
Ja,
That's
ja.
already 12
einseitig
slots that he
gewürzt
can
dadurch.
play around with. So he decides
Ah,
to
yes.
yeah,
Auch
play
überwürzt, hätte ich
the,
jetzt
the
gesagt.
detective package
dreimal
instead,
Leider nicht
which
spicy.
makes things quite interesting.
Yeah.
Nicht,
So
ja,
both sides
interessant,
are
ne? Dass
ramping
es zu viel
during the turn
Gewürz
two.
ist, aber spicy ist es trotzdem nicht.
And
Okay.
he has no choice and he got a pass. He dare not to
Dann noch
trade
Tipo
No,
für
there's-
Big Enough in diesem
the-
Fall.
the-
There's
the
no
Basil.
way that you do that there,
Yeah.
right? Okay, and wow, you see, Ruizhe actually has a really good hand right now. He has a Junior Witcher guidebook as well, so he can actually play that, and he has all his one drops.
Dieser
Ruizhe's
Tipo
hand
direkt
is
hält
absolutely
Basil super
like
zurück.
nuts,
Wie
right?
wird man
Because
mit diesem Basil
here
jetzt
you
Lore
play,
machen,
you
weil
tap
das voll
two,
ass
so you
wäre,
can
wenn die
ink one, tap
gefällt
two for the
werden von
Tipo,
Tipo,
put
einer von denen.
something else in, or you can ink
Normal
the
mit
Tipo, play the
seinen zwei
Rafiki.
Battles hätte man ja
All
gefunden
these
gegen den
options
einen.
work. You have the
Aber dann der
Junior Witcher
Tipo,
guidebook.
oh.
Next turn, and sorry, in 2 turns
Ich würde
time, you
trotzdem
are going to be
questen,
able to play the
tatsächlich.
Demona.
yeah, but is that
Ja,
right
meinst du, soll
moment to
einfach
play
alles
Demona
abgegradet
right
werden? Ist ja
now
nicht so schlimm.
to just solve?
Ich
Tipo
lege jetzt auch
and
2 Sachen
Basil?
nach. Ich mache jetzt
I-
Buch oder
I
so,
have a
plus noch
I'm
was.
questioning it.
Ich hätte vielleicht
So,
sogar noch
he played-
Rafiki gehabt
so
gehabt
we can see
irgendwie,
that he
aber
plays,
das will er wohl
the
nicht.
Witcher guidebook for
Wow,
just
wie er das
waiting,
Buch jetzt
maybe
nicht
do
Ja, ja.
something later.
Das
He's
ist doch super
planning.
scheiße, warum
He's
denn
playing
nicht?
for something for later on. So
Es kann doch voll gar nichts
because
passieren.
I
Als ob
don't think
jetzt,
he's going to play Demona
am Ende kommt jetzt in
at
Declared to
this
Clarabelle mit Zicker auf
soon
dein Buch.
moment
Weißt du? Das ist
because
super weak.
it's not
Uh,
worth.
Wenn der Gegner jetzt
No, I
wenigstens
mean,
schon
look, just
5 gehabt
drawing
hätte,
your
man
hand
hätte
cards
Angst
is
haben
probably
müssen, dass er
worth it
Clarabelle
enough,
macht.
right? So
Der Gegner
Chun,
kann
I think
theoretisch auch
rightfully
nur Welcome
identifies that there
machen,
may
das
be a
bringt natürlich
Demona
gar
turn next
Aber
turn,
wenn jetzt
so he
Clarabelle mit
inks the
Zicker
Prince
kommt,
Philip
dann
because if Demona comes
weiß
out,
nicht,
then
warum man
you
da
get
diese-
max
warum man
max
sich da
value
diese
because
gewollt hat.
you're gonna exert everything, including the Prince Philip, and then your Basil is gonna be able to take out the Prince Philip
Vielleicht
there,
will er
right? So
generell
it's
erstmal so eine Hand runterplayen auf
just
0
not
und die-
great
das
if he
Buch
plays
erst
the
so
Prince
viel
Philip
später
now.
kommt.
Oh
Das kann
shit!
sein.
The small Basil to the
Nicht,
big
oh, shit.
Basil. This is the Basil undercover detective. Sorry, disguised detective, right? So the disguised detective, once you
Was
ink
das?
a card into your inkwell, if you
Das
pay
ist
one
Basil
more
6 Drop mit Shift.
card,
Ich vermute,
you
dieser
will
Mann
be
hat
able to
vielleicht auch noch
discard
Judy
one
Hawks.
of your opponent's cards in their hand.
Ach so.
Draws, what did he top deck? He looks
Oder er spielt so die Poultry-Version ohne Hops.
Razor to
Poultry hat gesagt, Judy
keep
Hopps
his
kann nichts, deswegen
response
alle
to
erstmal
the
überall
Hat
Judy
er
Hopps
gesagt?
gecuttet.
Ja,
Because
hat er erwähnt im
this,
Interview.
this
Ja,
base,
Judy Hopps habe ich
base
dann
Ja.
aus
create a
mehreren
lot
Gründen,
of
anyway,
threats
bla bla bla.
on
Ich denke,
Razor.
aus
Last
welchen
time
Gründen denn? Welche
it's
mehreren
different
Gründe
Basil,
sind denn?
but this
Joshua
time that
Porter,
Basil
please, eine Stunde
will have a
Video über
threat
dieses
to,
Deck.
whenever
Und nicht Ja
I
for
keep
reasons.
ramping, but you keep
Die beste
discarding.
Karte.
It's a
Ich hab voll
big
Bock auf
advantage.
Judy Hopps.
Obvious, weißt du,
Chun's
ist
side.
trivial, ist trivial, warum man die nicht
Razor,
spielt.
Ja,
he's
Mann,
looking
weißt du-
for response with
Hast du-
Elsa or
Hast du diesen
Demone.
Bernstein 5 Flop gesehen?
I think
der
he's
Keeper von
probably
Yeah,
Anfang
he's
using
going for the
Saison
Elsa
denkt?
play, probably getting he needs to get rid of
Yeah.
that Basil.
Ja, Mann. Da hab ich
That
voll Bock drauf. Ich
Basil,
kann mir vorstellen,
the
dass das so die
disguise
Engine ist.
detective as soon
Du
as
hast
he
ja auch
can.
genug Removal
It's
jetzt
gonna
auf
be a
einmal in Bernstein
huge
Saphir.
pain if he's not
Sehe
able
schon
to do
kommen,
that.
so Bernstein Saphir,
So
Detective
yeah,
Joshua
and we
Porter
can see
hat's natürlich schon ein Set
Razor
vorher bekommen.
answer the
Bestimmt hatte Nancy schon den
Elsa the
Spoiler.
fifth spirit.
Ja.
So Chun has to create another trouble in coming turn.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, this game is going very differently from how we saw it earlier, right? If he does play the Ducks, Ducks could potentially
Nee,
go
also da,
down
glaube ich, wird demnächst vielleicht
during
echt
this
endlich
turn.
mal die
The
Zeit
Duck
des
being the Donald Duck perfect
Bernstein
gentleman, right? So
Saphir
it allows you to
Top
draw more cards
Lange haben
into
wir
your
es nicht
hand, but
gesehen.
also kind with the downside of
Es
giving
war
more
so
cards to
in
your
dem Set
opponent. But
1
if he
Only Metagame,
does
da gab's
have
sogar mal so
the
ein Invitational
Demona in his hand,
irgendwie,
then the
was dann
extra
gewonnen
cards don't
wurde
really
von
matter.
Bernstein
But we
Saphir
do
von
see the Judy
Frankas.
Hops, which we talked about a little bit earlier.
Okay.
This is the Judy Hops
Da ist
uncovering
Judy
clues.
Hops, yeah.
Look at the top 3
I
cards
called
of
it.
your deck when you play or
In Game 1
quester.
dachte ich erst noch so,
Find a
sie bestimmt
detective,
doch
put it
nicht.
into your
Weil er
hand.
so Donald
He
Duck
finds
Perfect
the
Gentleman
7 cost
gemacht hat.
Basil, the undercover
der
detective,
wäre in dem
and this is
Slot.
the card that actually
Aber er
lost
hat beide.
Ruizhe the game previously. We do see Hades in Rachel's hand now, but he's going to be unable to play it as there's only 5 ink
Ja, da
in
wird sich
the
auf Judy Hopps
inkwell
gleich auch noch
for
eine
Raids.
Karte
So that
rausschlagen
means he
lassen
can't
können.
actually even play the woodchuck. Sorry, he can't even play the
Both cards
Demona.
in hand, yeah.
But with Woodchuck Guidebook, maybe there's something else that he can find. I see the Rafiki, I see the Woodchuck Guidebook as well. Not playing the Demona the previous turn means that this turn here is going to be a little bit awkward.
And which means Razor can't respond to the Judy Hops uncovering clues
Will ich jetzt den Monat zu
because
inken?
he has already exerted 1 ink already. And
Ja,
right
man
now
natürlich auch
he's
machen.
thinking about
aber finde ich schon
it's quite
dangerous.
important
Demona ist ja schon
on
stark.
how to preserve
Aber
his
doch,
Hades
na klar, braucht
because
kein
last
Mensch.
time he has
Er
already
hat ja auch
lost
noch
2
schlaues
Hades
Buch, wie es aussieht.
in this desperate way.
Was er schon wieder nicht
Yeah, I
benutzt.
mean, it's interesting. Look, he inks the Demona. That means he's like, look, I don't really need the Demona at this point anymore. I guess, you know, with the Junior Witcher guidebooks means that he can just
Ja,
kind of
ich
draw
weiß nicht.
using
Es war
those
so
books
relativ
instead.
ausgeglichener Boardslate, aber ich
Chooses
denke, dass es gerade schon
Not
doch wieder
to
deutlich
pop
Richtung Emerald
the guidebook
Sapphire
this turn, leaves 2
tendiert
ink
gerade.
open,
Ne?
and
Das Board
kind of
von
just passes it
Duo
over
ist
to
mal wieder
Chintat here.
nicht
Interesting. I mean,
bedrohlich
Ist einfach nicht fett genug.
there's
Ist
only
nicht
one
fett
hand
genug.
card, and we know
Da
that
kommt
hand
nichts
card is going to be
raus.
the Hades, right?
Es
I guess he inks the
tröpfelt
Demona
nur,
here
weißt
so
du?
that
Es muss
he can
fließen.
quote-unquote guarantee the Hades the next turn, but Hades,
Yeah.
I mean, you could what? Like, you could try to get rid of the Basil, maybe.
Man muss es
Yeah, it's
richtig
just overall
reinhämmern.
interesting
Bam,
the
bam,
way
bam.
that.
Let's search the card first. Let's see what Chunta can have. So he find another Donald Duck, ramping Donald Duck.
Yeah, this is the Donald Duck focus flatfoot here. Being able to basically ramp you one on play.
Ja, der Judy Hopps
So when you play the
Detective
Donald
Alter,
Duck,
schon
you
wieder mit
ink
Judy
it
Hopps
from
Flat
the
3,
top
2,
card of
1
your
gemacht jetzt gerade,
top
ne? Oder hat er
card of
beide
your deck,
Male
right?
gegen
And
den
it goes
Detective
into your
geklappt
inkwell
auch?
there.
Beide Male, ja.
Chintat here
Beide Male denselben
He
Detective
chose
redet,
to
glaube ich
play
auch.
another card.
observing
Aber wie viel geiler ist der
plotting
Judy Hops und dann
to
immer
see
wieder auf die
whether
4 Gravedigger
what card to
die
ink. He
Judy Hops
inks
und
the
dann noch
Prince
den
Philip
Dings
Vanquisher of
rausholen,
Foes
weißt du?
in order for him to play the
Das ist
Basil
super
Undercover
übertrieben.
Detective,
Wirst ja gar
bounces
nicht-
up to
kommst ja gar nicht
Rafiki,
mehr heraus. Da gibt's ja immer
giving
nur
Raiza
Judy
2
Hops.
cards in his hand.
Jede
He
Runde
does
Quest
now,
oder
sorry,
Play.
Raiza is now able to hit 7 cards.
Das ist
He
so
can
gut,
ink the
Detective auf
Rafiki
der
and play
Frage
the
ist, was macht man
Hades.
dann?
I think Raiza's going to
Aber
be
na
pretty
klar, dann
happy
macht man
with
natürlich
the
noch Let It Go
Rafiki
und
getting bounced
The Horseman's
instead
Strikes
of
und
anything
Quest
else. Actually,
Bringen
anything
rein,
else would have also
Hades,
been
keine
fine.
Ahnung.
But we do
Lecker,
see the
Neues,
Basil
be
getting
prepared.
questing to give Elsa support, and Elsa is
Gazelle.
able to trade into the Judy Hops. There we go.
Yes. I
Ja, ich
think
weiß
geht
ob-
nicht,
ich
oder?
weiß
from
nicht, ob
Chunta's
Gazelle
point of
darin
view,
auch gut
he
wäre.
rather use Judy Hops
Gazelle hätte
traded
ich mehr Bock
for
auf so einen
traded
halt
with
more traditional Stil
with
Song
Elsa
Bild
rather
mit
than
Stahl.
Rafiki.
Yeah, and I think that's a great play, right? With the Hades down, we do see the Hades being
Aber
used
vielleicht
for that
würde ich
Basil.
auch
Basil
noch
is
Bock
now
haben, die da
down
einzubauen.
and out.
Aber
So
Gazelle super Anti-Kombo mit Judy Hops.
he's left with 3
Er ist
cards in
Zombie
his hand. He
abgesehen.
does have another Judy
Aber
Hops,
dann
so it
noch
means he
Quest.
can just play tap 4 for the Judy Hops uncovering clues.
No,
Yet
it's
again,
not.
look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Find a detective, put it in your hand. We do see another Judy Hops. We we do see a Donald Duck. I actually like this draw engine. Draw engine looking
Look at the
pretty
smile
good.
on Ruizhe's face. Wow.
He's like, this is unique. I wasn't ready to see this. I mean, who would have been, right? No detectives
Oh,
there, but still a very, very
who would have
interesting
been ready?
filter
Ja, die
system
Leute haben
for
echt,
this
wir
kind of
haben diesen
detective
Bild natürlich
heavy
längst
decks.
gesehen.
But with only 2 GD hops here, there
Vielleicht sind wir
isn't
deswegen so jaded
anything
und
else that
pennen ein
Chun
beim
can
Watchen.
do. It looks like Chun
Alles
is
schon
slowly
gesehen, wir haben
running out of
einfach zu
steam.
viel schon geguckt.
Yes. So
Das ist ja
let's
jetzt
see
quasi so das
what Razor's gonna
Paris
do.
des
He
Set
has
10.
another
Ne?
woodchip guy
Ist es die
on the
allerletzte
board.
Event,
And will he
bevor
gonna use it?
wir
Yeah, it looks
Set
like he
11
is
uns
going to
dann
pop it.
reinziehen
Indeed,
He
werden?
he
looks,
needs
he's looking for
cards.
Oder kommt da noch was?
answers.
Wenn die nicht wieder irgendwie am Tag
because
des
these two
Releases
Judy
noch
Hops
so
already
das Set
request next
10
turn, it
Event
gives
machen in
so much
irgendwelchen
value for these
komischen
Judy Hops, right? Allows
Situationen,
you
weil
to
die alle
connect
keine
a couple cards
Planung
here
kennen und
once
so.
again to filter out more
Dann hoffe ich, dass
detectives.
es das
tut mir aber
letzte
gut,
But
dass
I
war.
mean, there comes a
Stream
question as to
diesmal.
when you should stop
Oder
or
weiß
no,
nicht Gundam
when
noch, ne?
like what's the optimum
Ja,
amount
es war
of
das gute Gundam
Judy Hops
TCG
triggers
am
that
Start.
you're
Ja,
looking for, because you know at the end of the day you're gonna be you can only choose
Gundam ist ja
detective
eigentlich
cards,
auch
right? So you
cool.
Naja,
can't actually
außerdem
choose any other
ist ja bald auch Bologna
non-detective
hier, ne?
cards, which
Riftbound und
limits the
so.
amount of cards you can get from the top part
In
from the
2
top part of your
Wochen.
deck.
3 Wochen?
Echt?
And right now we can
Weiß ich gar
finally
nicht.
see
Ja.
that
Oh, wow.
the answers made
Haben wir das?
answered by
Locker.
Razor. He used it
Weiß ich
Elsa
nicht.
to at least he can
Ist halt
banish
Local
one of
Time,
the
was halt
Judy
schon
Hops
sehr
to
nice ist.
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Ich will nur hoffen,
avoiding
dass sie dann
Chuntat
Matches
to
zeigen
loop
und nicht wieder so,
his
yeah, guck
hands,
hier
keep
dieses
looping the
Best of
detectives
Board
on his
States
hand.
in Round 1.
But right now we can let's take a
Das
look
fand ich echt
at what
disturbing. Ich
Ja.
wollte
he
es ja
can
Cover beim
find with
letzten Mal auch
these
schon.
Judy Hops.
I mean, what do you
Und dann
think?
war das
What do you think
so
he's trying to find right now
eigenartig.
with
Was soll ich denn dazu
the Judy
sagen
Hops
dann?
focus? Sorry, uncovering clues. What
Keine Ahnung, da sind die Chinesen besser tatsächlich. Die haben nicere Coverages, wobei die so ein bisschen, weiß ich, das zieht sich bei denen immer wie Kaugummi, finde ich.
I don't know. We're definitely not looking for the
Da
practice
ist,
detective either. So I'm just
ja, weiß
wondering.
nicht. Die bräuchten so einen netten
at this
Mittelweg
point in
einfach
time,
zwischen dem einen und dem anderen.
what Chuntat is actually trying to think for. We do see Donald Duck, Focus
Nee,
Flatfoot
weiß ich nicht. Ich
being
finde,
dropped
so
right
vielleicht
now,
einfach nur nicht so
inking
langsam
one
play.
more, inking one from
Die
his
Routine
hand,
kommt ja
and
auch
then
mit der
tapping
Zeit.
for a
Ich denke mal,
Donald
das wird
Duck
noch ein
Perfect
bisschen
Gentleman.
schneller.
This is the perfect card that
Ne,
Chuntat
als
is
ich zum
looking
ersten
for,
Mal Nexus
as he
Strike
needs to
gespielt
draw
habe,
more
auf einmal
cards in his
so,
hand.
ja, bei
I
1
think
die
he's
Zeitblende.
pitching his
Wow,
deck
dachte,
to
ich hätte
keep
nicht
pressing
gedeckt.
his
Aber
deck
nee,
in a
einfach
limited
generell über
size,
alles
and
halt
so
eine
that
Sekunde zu viel nachgedacht.
he can later on he can
Ja.
draw the answer card easily. So I think even though he couldn't find anything, there's no purpose to search with Judy Hops. He can still questing by questing the Judy Hops uncovering clue to keep pitching praising the deck.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're able to filter through your deck, but like I said, you can only pick your detectives, right? So if you do see a card that you want in the top of your deck, you can't get it anymore.
Whatever, yeah.
You're putting it at the bottom, which is not great, right? So it comes a question as to when, like, which detective is he exactly looking for? Because the Judy Hops here, I'm just wondering if it's actually just a bait for Ruizhe. You know, he's like, hey, look, I'm gonna get more cards from my hand, but do I really need those cards? It's a different question altogether. That you know, but these
Kann jetzt
players
erstmal
need
Dumbo
to be
legen und
asking
chillig
themselves.
Karten ziehen,
And
oder?
we can finally see that.
Eine.
Natürlich eine Karte
No
ziehen
matter
auf jeden
on
Fall.
the play and on the draw, there's big differences between
Er kann schon auch noch diese
two
Ding
decks.
verhauen mit seinem
Because
Hades.
once who goes
Aber dann
first,
wird Hades
you
verhauen
can
von
have
Donald Duck.
the active row. You can quest first. You can plan whatever you
Aber
want.
eventuell
You
er
can
hat
limit
Elsa the Fifth Spirit
your
auf der Hand,
opponent's
deswegen consider er
choices.
gerade-
So
Ach nee, doch nicht,
Ruizhe
oder?
is now
Doch.
doing exactly what
Was hat er denn da?
he's
Ist
going
das
to
nicht
do.
doch Elsa?
Yeah, play the game.
Ich habe nur Dumbo sehen können.
And giving pressures
Dumbo hat er
on
auf jeden
Chuntat,
Fall.
answering.
Demona
Chuntat's
vermutlich, oder?
is aiming to answer back
Vielleicht.
to Ruizhe.
Kann jetzt
that's why we
Demona-Action
can see
machen?
The Purple is now heading the
Dumbo
low
und
pressures
Basil.
on Chuntat.
Yeah, look, right now I think the Blurple player is going to
Und
be
ein
pretty
Lore,
happy with his board
seine
state because he
Elsa
is going
zu
to, with the
verstärken.
Dumbos, gain a lot of
Was ist das
just
denn
cards
für ein
and
Play
value
gewesen?
overall because you're able to draw one, quest one, draw one, gain one lore
Er will einfach
for
partout
each
keine
Dumbo trigger.
Karten
I'm actually
ziehen, ne?
surprised to see the Elsa being
Weil das
traded
zu
off
stark
there.
ist gegen
I expected
Clarabelle.
the Elsa to be to trigger
Ist
the
sein Plan.
breaking records ability or the making history ability. Sorry. But you know,
Ich weiß, also seine Hand so leer zu spielen, anstatt
yeah, I mean,
erstmal mehr zu
I
ziehen,
guess
ist
he
ja so ein
valued
Plan.
clearing,
Aber
thinning
einfach
out some of
nichts mehr
Chuntat's board.
nichts zu machen,
Chuntat
anstatt
here
zu ziehen.
using
Du
Perfect
hättest ja dann jetzt
Gentleman
auch
in a
nicht
perfect
ziehen
way draws
können mit
draws
Donald Duck.
himself more
Ja,
cards.
warum hast du das dann nicht
Even
gemacht?
with the downside of giving your opponent some cards, I think that's fine because the blue-green player here is digging for the MMS, I think, combination of ways to kind of control the board. You're welcome is an option here
Oh no, du
for
musst langsam
Chuntat,
mit Judy Hops und so und den
but we'll
ganzen
see
Ancestral
what
Vision
the player ends
oder
up
Vision of
going
the
for.
Future musst du auch schon
Looks
anfangen so
like
zu
Chuntat
force-tracken, weißt du,
loses,
wo dann jetzt gleich wieder der
lost
Detective
his
kommen wird.
Caramel. during the mid game. I didn't even see any Kerbal. Probably is in Inkwell.
Yeah, maybe in the Inkwell, maybe have been sent to the bottom of your deck, right?
And MMS as well. Right.
Yeah, this game is definitely one for.
Quite struggling.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the blue-green player slowly trying to make its way back. We do see him clearing.
Yeah,
we do
making
see
his way
Chun
downtown.
clearing some of Ruizhe's characters, as well as leaving some damage on the
Ja,
side
der Grün-Blau-Spieler muss auf jeden
of
Fall aufpassen,
the
dass er nicht
Hades there.
verliert.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so we wasn't able to
Okay,
find the
einfach so.
malicious mean and scary, but by
Baut.
by using one of your
Damaging.
characters, yeah, by damaging one, using one of your own characters, Prince Philip still does get triggered in the end.
Yeah. And by banishing one of Basil,
Prince
which
kommt aber
means
diesmal nur
he's not
One-Hit-Wonder.
allowed to threaten Prince Philip right now, right moment, even though
Was ist er denn dann wohl?
Basil
Purple Rain?
support the Dumble. And
Ist schon so der bekannteste Song, klar.
for
Nah. I mean, look,
for,
so,
for reminding Chun has something.
Fan, deswegen kenn ich
yeah,
nicht so
but look, I think with Prince Philip, Prince Philip
Da
not
kenn ich noch
only
mehr Songs von Die
has the
Prinzen.
effect
Hey.
of banishing any damage characters on the board,
Aber die haben doch
but
nur
he
alles
also adds
geklaut.
an
Das ist
additional threat to the side of Ruizhe, right? If Ruizhe plays
Das
any
ist
kind of
ein
evasive
Song von denen,
characters,
ja.
then the Prince Philip can contest. But you know what? Ruizhe isn't having any of that. Plays his Hades Infernal Schemer, gets rid of the Prince Philip Vanquisher of foes.
And right now, Chun is now losing his tempo right now by Dumble and both Basil. So, looks like
Board wieder
Ruizhe
leer.
is now
Sehr schön.
can now questing without any
Die Hand
consideration
auch leer.
right now.
Clarabelle macht mal
Yeah,
wieder
look,
nichts.
Ruizhe are gonna be
That
pretty
top one.
happy with the state of the board
Ja,
right now, with
interessant
only
dieses
having a
Strategy gegen
Dumbo as
Emerald
well as a
Sapphire spielt er
Hades.
so
It's gonna be
ausgejokt.
plenty of time
Aber da ist noch die
for
Judy.
him to
And
come
the
back in the game if
last-
he wants to. But yeah, you're right. Chuntai just plays the last Judy Hops here. Looking at the top three cards, doesn't pick anything up,
Kann
but
ja
he
vielleicht
does
gleich noch was
also
kriegen.
have
Ach, der
a
Gegner hat doch noch zwei Handkarten.
clever
Er hat
belt
null.
light on the hooves. Draws 2 at the end of his
Nee,
turn.
2.
Which
Looks
is
like Prince
Kennt man
Philip.
ja auch mal einen Würfel
yeah, no, it's a
drauflegen
pretty
können.
good card there.
So the game hasn't ended yet. So he still can
The game
fight
hasn't
back
ended yet. Yeah, no
later
way.
on. But as I remember that Ruizhe has Into the Unknown and Elsa has on his hand, right? So this is another strong answer to answer back to Chunta's board.
Yeah, it's like if I play Into the Unknown
Jetzt
here,
auch, weißt du, die Clarabelle wird die ganze
your
Zeit im Spiel,
Clarabelle
aber
is
jetzt,
gone,
wo sie
your
finally
Judy Hops
really
is
im Spiel ist,
gone.
naja, erstmal noch eine gezogen.
This is a very drawn out game. You know, these are two very heavy control decks. One does the board white, one
Ja,
does
aber
single
da ist jetzt
target
ordentliche
control.
Menge an Evasive Charakter.
But yeah, in these games, the
Da
two
muss jetzt
can
dann doch
outlast, right? And right
Emerald
now,
Sapphire
with
langsam mal mit
both
dieser
with two
Combo um die Ecke
Dumbos
kommen
on
am besten.
Ruizhe's
Ich
side
glaub,
of
da
the
hat der
field,
gerade M&M's von oben
I
bekommen,
think
wenn ich mich
Blur
nicht
Ball
vertan
actually stands a really good chance of winning this matchup.
Yeah, and he's calling the game right now, and Chunta has to answer quickly. But you know, Hades has has 6 willpower right here,
Also das
and,
habe ich echt
and
am
only one
meisten
Kerbal is
gelernt,
not
diese
enough to
bei diesem
banish it.
ganzen Watching der Coverage.
So
Ja, die
that's
Karte
really
zu
a lot
erkennen
of
so in
trouble for
0,8
Chunta.
Sekunden, während sie so im 70-Grad-Winkel
He has to
gezeigt
trade
wird.
with 2 cards, or use the malicious, mean, and scary, or Prince Philip.
Nicht, dass du dann irgendwie so eine Nackenverspannung kriegst, weil du deinen Kopf immer so schräg halten musst, um das lesen zu können irgendwie. Kannst du direkt hier...
These with just one
Ah,
malicious mean and
nah.
scary. But he opts to just hard play the Donald Duck as well as the Clarabelle. There we go. We do see the malicious mean and scary being sung by that Judy Hop. So that means that the Hades goes down. That means the Dumbo, the
Aber
first
ich hab
Dumbo
schon
goes
so
down, and one damage is
FPS-Speedrunner
put on
gesehen,
the
die
Genie
das
and the
so
Dumbo.
chair dodgen
So
und
all
von
Chuntai
daher, man
needs
darf
to
sie einfach
draw
nicht
right now
stellen.
is the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes.
These are quick responses made by Chunta because at least he can stop the turbo made by Ruizhe, even though Ruizhe quest 3, and he still could had a little bit
Wahrscheinlich ist
hope
deswegen so Goldeneye so
from
populär, weil man da
from
actually mit den
the Kerbal.
Schultertasten sich so zur Seite
So
lehnen kann.
let's see how it goes. How's Ruizhe's response? So
Yeah.
first use the ability of Dumbo to draw a card, and it's very good for Dumbo right now because he really needs some cards to answer back immediately.
Ja, Guo könnte da schon noch die Lore
Yeah, look, we
machen.
see the
Wenn er schon
Dumbo
15 hat, echt
using
stark.
its breaking records
Dieser
ability
Genie
allows him
liegt
to
ja
gain
auch
a
schon.
lower
Wenn er
draw
mal kann,
card
ist gleich noch zwei
for
machen.
just the cheap
Dann
cost of
ist es schon
inserting the
Storytime,
character
Ja.
bringt
and
nichts an Bord.
tapping an ink.
Der Gegner,
So
der on
Dumbo
Board halt
here
Master.
it's actually, I would say, is the key
Er
differentiator
hat
between
natürlich
Blurple
wahrscheinlich
as
noch
well
was
as
auf
Blue
der
Green,
Hand.
right? Because Dumbo allows you to quote unquote have unlimited resources by drawing one
By
card
the way, hast du
per turn
gesehen,
per
DSC
character.
Milwaukee waren so
So
Emerald
yeah,
Sapphire Mirror
I think
im Finale.
Ruizhe is really tough
Und
right now
die
because
haben
he's
Okay.
now
Ease
thinking
gecuttet.
about, oh, if Chuntas plays
Die 5
Prince
Drop?
Philip
Ne, die
next
7
turn,
Drop.
he's going
Aus dem
to
Emerald Sapphire.
Ah,
turn over. He's going
Ich
to
hab voll
lose this
dumm
game
geguckt.
easily. So I'm
Dieser Man hier hat einfach auch
thinking
noch
Mehr-
Null gemacht, dieses
he's
Spiel. Der spielt bestimmt
really
keine.
taking a big gamble.
mehr Kryptzeug oder?
no, I think
Because
Mehr
the
Ramp?
Keine
threat
Ahnung,
of
irgendwie sah das
Prince
Deck
Philip is
genauso
still
aus wie
existing.
immer, nur halt.
yeah, and
Ich
I
weiß
mean
nicht, mehr
it's a
Donald
difficult
Duck
position,
Perfect
but you know,
Gentleman oder
with
so
so many
vielleicht dann. Das ist
evasives
der Slot.
on
Ah,
the side of
okay.
Ruizhe, you'd have to think that he has
Es sah
pretty
mehr
much
so aus wie
the
immer.
game
Natürlich
on
vielleicht
the
auch einfach
board, right?
mehr
You do see
3,
4
4,
lures
3,
on the
weißt
board.
du, und überhaupt
If
keine
Chun
Karte
does not
reingetan.
have an answer
Nur
here, whether
ein
it's a
mehr
bounce,
von
whether
jeder, die
it's a
sowieso
malicious
schon drin
mean and scary, whether it's a Prince Philip
Was?
combo,
Ich bin
then
leise?
there's definitely no way for Chun to actually win this one.
Okay, ich zieh
And
das
I
Mic
think
mal ein bisschen näher.
Ruizhe is now keeping the into the unknown.
Alles wird
for
mir ja immer
later
vorgeworfen,
on
aber doch nicht
answering
leise,
to
Kalt.
Prince
Ich
Philip
kann hier das
or
Mic auch noch ein bisschen
maybe
nach
something
oben
else.
regeln.
He's now
Ach
thinking
so, nö, aber es ist
whether
irgendwie
he
tu. Ich
pass
komme nicht
his
mal in
turn
den
or
roten Bereich,
use
ne?
the,
Warum eigentlich nicht?
just think
Worte,
short.
die man noch nie gelesen hat.
He's
Aber
TrashT,
echt.
du bist echt leise.
Ja, super crazy. Am Ende liegt sie da an diesen Mic-Einstellungen.
And really, you can see how nerving.
Wie finde ich die
how
denn?
nerving is
Hier
on
unter
his
Mikrofon
face.
einrichten war das, ne?
Yeah, every
Ja,
single
ich mach's mal
move
ganz kurz.
counts now. Every single move is important. That is the
Mikrofon.
third Dumbo
Ach,
that
das
has
ist wieder
actually
der
come
falsche
down for the
Button.
side
Hab
of
ich auch schon
Ruizhe
tausendmal
here.
geklickt. Das ist nicht der, der es kann.
So choosing to just play the Dumbo and then just passing. Interesting. Not deciding not to use the Into the Unknown here,
Oder war's
saving
das
it
doch?
for a later time maybe. That is the fourth sale the right. See, draws into the Prince Philip. Vanquisher of foes, so he is going to be able to deal with the genie as well as the
Erstmal Probleme
Dumbo
werden ermittelt. Bin
here.
voll gespannt,
But
welche Probleme
he
ich gleich habe.
decides, look, it's maybe a little bit too late. I can't deal with anything else, so I will scoop now. With only 18 minutes left on the clock, these players need to play
Eigentlich gar keine.
really
Ja,
fast.
okay.
Yeah.
Es konnte mal wieder nichts.
But no, it's just like that.
Am Ende war es wieder unter Geräte oder so in Wahrheit. Boah, jedes Mal.
They have to consider.
Beziehungsweise nicht jedes Mal, sonst würde ich es vielleicht endlich können.
And that's why which is
Ja, Mikrofon einrichten, wie wär's denn damit? Aber bin ich schon da oder was?
The thinking time
Oh.
quite long.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, the
And-
Blurp,
and-
like I said before, Blurple has the advantage in these control matchups because it does have an innate draw engine with the Dumbos.
Nah.
Right? The Dumbos allow you to stay in the game, allow you to stay in the long game as well.
And the final golden Mickey will goes to which size. I'm very excited. Excited.
Yeah.
At the end.
Soundeinstellungen.
And likely for the game 3, Junta will goes first.
Eingabegerät,
He'll
hier.
take a slightly
Geräteeigenschaften,
active
ja.
role.
Ja klar, die
and
Lautstärke ist fett
switch
auf
out.
halbe Lautstärke.
Ruizhe is likely to
Ja, jetzt bin ich unendlich lauter.
to see how to stop
Endlich.
the
Jetzt bist du
kann ich
zu
mal wieder
laut.
runterbringen. Ja, ja, ich drehe gerade schon wieder so
look,
down.
Going first in this kind
Vielleicht
of
ist hier so der
doesn't
richtige
actually make or
Amount.
break the game
Ja,
here.
hier
It really
minus
depends
15
at the end
vielleicht?
of the day what the mulligan is
Weiß ich
like.
nicht, minus
But
10?
assuming that,
Nee, wieso?
assuming
Bin ich
that
immer noch zu laut
both
jetzt?
players don't make any mistakes, right? I am gonna
Für mich
be
reicht's so.
totally favoring the blue-green side.
Oh, was ist denn hier?
And I'll be very excited to see this version of blue-green because it's such a unique list here, honestly.
Es hatte sich wieder runtergestellt.
You guys will see it. It's very, very.
Jetzt regle ich hier wieder rum.
Yeah.
Und dann
Waiting for the later on the YouTube
wirkt sich das
commentary
etwa aus?
on
Warte
this
mal
deck
eben.
building is very interesting.
Wo war ich denn
So,
gerade?
Right now, they're looking for ramping cards during their mulligan and Ruizhe.
Ah, hat er finally verloren, dieser Blöppel-Guy, oder hat er etwa gewonnen?
Start with the first 7 cards because
Er hat gewonnen.
Blöppel-Guy hat gewonnen? Achso, ja, er hatte ja so viel Lore, na klar.
No ramp is definitely horrible for the side of Chuntat here. Unfortunately, didn't get to see what Ruizhe here was playing, got in his hand. But you know what? Chuntat does have one turn, right? If he manages to top deck the ramp, then he's 100% in this game, in for potential go to Mickey.
Yeah.
Oh, wo war ich denn jetzt gerade, um das
And so far,
einzustellen?
no, Chuntai is a very new player for Lorcana in Hong Kong, and just only a few months experiences, he can reach the top 8 for the Disney Lorcana Challenge.
Es ist, glaube ich, wenn du Alt und F4 gleichzeitig drückst.
Der Klassiker
Oder
im IRC.
Crucial, exciting.
Oder?
Control, Alt, Delete.
It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal, right? And hey, guess what? Chuntat's hand is, I don't know what you were on, man, but Chuntat has a really good hand. He has sailed the Ezra C there. He also has the Judy Hopps now. So really, really, I think it's a pretty good setup. He also has the Prince Phillips there. So a lot of good cards for him in his hand that he can choose to play out. That is 2 Judy Hopps, I think, that we see in his hand. So he is definitely going to be able to ink 1. He is going to likely play that Sail the Ezra C. Draws 1, allows you to ramp 1 more card. It is the Donald Duck Perfect Gentleman, which is a card that he's very happy to see, I believe, for his turn 4 play. We do see second Judy Hopps potentially going into the inkwell here, opting for just more raw draw instead of specified draw, like the detectives over on his side of the field.
Wow, it's a tough decision to ink 2 Judy Hopps at the same turn, which means you are giving a signal to the reader that I can spare 2 answers on
oh, durch deine Webcam vielleicht. Die macht doch irgendwelche Anpassungen.
Oh, vielleicht. Aber die ist ja nicht das Mikrofon.
Das weiß die aber nicht.
Nee. Das weiß sie aber doch wohl, weil ich hier gerade so Mikrofon 2 Rode NT USB am konfigurieren bin. Meinst du, da mischt die Webcam sich trotzdem ein? Ist ja super krass. Wieso sollte es denn so sein? Ja, das ist ja fucked up. Kann ich das nicht irgendwie so... Doch, na klar.
This Rafiki's going to be very safe to quest.
So, it's now Chuntat's turn and he's going...
Kann ich nicht dieses Mikro hier entfernen?
I think, as you predicted, he's going to play the Donald Duck later.
Ja, kann ich nämlich garantiert.
With forecast in hand, because the hand size is a problem for Chuntat.
Yep. And there we go. Yeah, Donald Duck coming down is going to be very clutch for him. He is going to be able to draw more. We do
Deaktivieren.
3-cost Prince Philip. We do see
9-cost
Prince Philip as well. And I think is that MMS?
Yes.
Jetzt bist du gemutet.
Wie, jetzt bin ich gemutet? Jetzt kann man mich gar nicht mehr hören, ne, kann nie sein.
Ich höre dich nicht mehr.
Okay, aber im Stream müsste man mich noch hören. Hold on a second.
Ja, im Stream höre ich dich tatsächlich noch, ja.
I think not questing from the Rafiki is a good call. Ruizhe here deciding whether he wants to draw 1 card from the Donald Duck.
Chuntat is a very gentle player. He reminded Ruizhe.
Kannst du mich jetzt wieder hören?
Rather draw not with the Donald Duck ability. Oh, Ruizhe tries to his hand size in a very limited hand size.
Yeah, that's a lot of control I think coming up from Ruizhe because we would expect.
Ja, jetzt hast du wieder hier, Voice. Ich hab's gerade mal geändert in diesem Discord-Call einfach.
Nee, doch nicht. War nur der Stream.
Ja, verstehe ich nicht. Ich sehe hier Eingabelautstärke. Ich leg mal auf und ruf dich kurz nochmal an, Sekunde. Ist es jetzt besser? Nee, oder?
Du warst kurz da, ja.
Ja, ich kapiere es nicht.
Ich höre dich, alles in Ordnung.
Ja, ist es so? Oh, crazy.
Ja.
Dann machen wir die hier mal wieder ein bisschen... Es verändert sich immer noch die Mikrofon. Ey, das ist krass. Wie kann ich denn einen Regler haben und dann so, ja, der Regler zeigt dir an, auf was ich die Lautstärke stelle. Eigentlich ist er ja wohl dafür da, dass ich die damit einstellen kann. Ne, wie beschissen.
Aber wenn du einem deiner Programme die Möglichkeit gegeben hast, diese Daten zu überschreiben, finde ich das schon okay, dass er das überschreibt. Du willst es ja letztlich auch, dass da Sachen überstehen. Warum sollten die denn was an deiner Lautstärke rumfummeln? Das macht ja wenig Sinn. Wenn, sollte es schon so eine Eingabegeschichte sein, wie eben deine Webcam. Die wäre optimal gewesen. Die macht ja auch andere Justierungen, gerade mit dem Bild und so.
Die habe ich inzwischen aber deaktiviert. Also den Ton von der.
Ja, und das Bild sehen wir leider noch. Okay, da haben wir Prinz Philipp, Combolicious, Boardlayer.
Ja, wait, was hat er denn?
Aber diesmal hat er sich Handkarten aufbewahrt.
Ah, die 3 doch, finde ich in Ordnung.
This card has been plaguing the format since set 1, and it's still around even in set 10 here. We do see the MMS combo. I actually think it's a little bit premature, but Chun thinks otherwise. He wants to clear the board. He wants to be as aggressive as he can.
He wants to grab back the tempo.
He wants to grab back tempo indeed. And you know what? Ruizhe is only at 5 ink, so can't actually play the Hades just yet.
Wow! Oh, I haven't noticed it yet. So, and right now we can tell Ruizhe is now rushing to the 7 Lords to keep spamming planning the Hades. In the future turns.
Ja, diese Lore-Guides, die da reinfuschen, super nice. Endlich mal.
Na? Genau so sehe ich das auch. Noch nicer wäre natürlich, wenn die nicht reinfuschen müssten, weil stattdessen die Leute mal wüssten, wie man playt.
Really good. We do see
Frage mich echt, wie das so schwer sein kann.
We see a quest coming out from the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes that is going to be 3 lore. Chun is on the board right now.
And let's see if Ruizhe draws a
In Magic hätte ich geschimpft, wenn die Leute so playen auf FNM.
A big trouble for Ruizhe because 6 lords will be freely gifted to Chunta's side.
Yeah, but we see the Cheshire Cat being drawn right now as a Cheshire Cat. It's a Hades is a Hades. We are likely going to see the Hades come down to push the Prince Philip Vanquisher of Foes into the Inkwell. Yeah. We see both players smiling. They know exactly what they're doing. Oh, interestingly enough, Ruizhe chooses to target the Donald Duck Perfect Gentleman there. He does not want Chun to draw more cards. Chun only has a 1-card hand.
Yeah,
says, look, I can maybe deal with this Prince Philip slightly later. You can have your 3 lore. You're only at 4, so there's nothing much for me to be worried about. Chun draws, or you're welcome, so he could potentially, you're welcome, his own Clarabelle to draw more cards, right? I mean, that is always an option. You're welcome. It does not have to be used on an opponent's character.
But even though you can draw and shift the Clarabelle right now, Ruizhe is
allerdings manchmal nicht so leicht.
Hand size is very limited in one hand.
Der Gegner hat mal wieder ein bisschen nachgelegt.
The wheeling of draw.
Aber wird das noch genug sein? Diese beiden Evasive Character verloren zu haben, war auf jeden Fall schon relativ bitter. Was passiert jetzt?
He's now looking for some answer card.
You are welcome auf seine eigene Clarabelle.
So, let's see.
Das ist echt immer so das 2:2.
I mean, look, you're welcome on your own Clarabelle here. I thought he was going to hard play it, but he sings it together with Prince Philip, so he loses out the potential 3 lore here.
Ja, will halt hoffentlich was Gutes ziehen.
You're welcome. Let's see if it gets
Kann man die eigentlich auf sich selbst singen? Oder ging das nicht, weil die nicht genug Dings hatte?
Naja, die Clarabelle hätte sich auf sich selbst singen können, weil sie nur einen Kost hatte.
Aber
prinzipiell wird es schon gehen.
Essential, but all he gets is visions of the future and some Basils. Basil going to be pretty good here, I think.
Hat er nicht Ben to my will auf
a
der Hand? Das ist
potential
natürlich nicht so
but
stark.
I think Basil is going to have a whole bunch
Vielleicht
of
will deswegen
value.
ihn auch alles aus. Weiß, dass Ben to my will am Start hat.
Get rid of something like the Hades or even the Genie at this point?
But he's not enough ink right now, so I'm not sure about whether Basil is a very good choice. So he's taking.
Yeah, he took the Basil. Okay, do you see the Donald Duck
for future turns?
Yeah, we do see the Donald Duck focus flatfoot being played for more ramp. And yeah, I think he's just going to pass it over to Ruizhe here, going for his next turn. Let's see if he actually has another Hades. Because I thought I saw 2 Hades, but it could have gone into Inkwell with the Tipo earlier for him to reach, being able to play the Hades the previous turn. Right, so Ruizhe here just making sure
noch ein guter Detektiv, den man revealen kann mit seiner Julie Hobbs. Auch in Bernstein Saphir. Ja, Mann, wir sehen die Archetypes schon kommen.
Right now, there isn't much, not many options for Ruizhe at this point.
Ruizhe is now, he's first set up a trap for.
Aber vor allem sehen wir, kommen wieder gleich noch fett passieren wird im Anschluss an dieses Event hier, Lorcana TCG Kasse und Spoilerbesprechung.
he can answer back
wenn wir
with
so
the
die Top 8
second
gleich fertig haben
ace.
2:30.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about, right?
Ja,
I
was soll
thought
ich
I saw
sagen?
two
Dann
Hades
können wir
and I
noch,
think,
es ist gerade
if he had two
CCQ in
Hades, then
Warschau.
definitely sending the
Im Ernst?
the Donald Duck was the
Ja.
right choice. And
Wieso
Chun-Tat
weiß ich das denn nicht?
Keine Ahnung, ich habe es auch gerade nur, ich habe mal auf die Kategorie geklickt und da wird gerade, ja, weiß ich. Wird halt ausgestrahlt von Goofy Plays Lorcana.
Aha, ja,
Tag
dann
2, die machen gerade. Aber die Qualität der, ja, weiß ich nicht. Ich weiß nicht, wie anschaulich das ist. Können wir ja nachher mal reingucken.
According to
Ja, ich bin gespannt.
Chun-Tat's
Ist ja
hands
eigentlich
right
crazy.
now, what he
Ich hatte
can
mich
answer,
informiert auf
Timo is not
lorcanaplayer.com,
obvious,
was denn
is
für
not
Events
the
anstehen.
answer
Eigentlich führen die
for
da ja
the
auf, immer
current
hätte ich
boss
gedacht.
day from
Aber diesen CCQ
Ruizhe.
Warschau haben sie uns voll
He's now,
unterschlagen.
he should now focusing on
Den hätte man ja auch
stop
fetter
the
gucken können
turnover
heute.
from Ruizhe right now, but obviously
Yeah, there's not much you can do. I mean, look with the
not much you
basil.
can do, yeah.
Yeah, with the
Schließlich
basil.
hatten wir heute noch gar keinen
undercover
Amethyst Steel Mirror.
detective in
Wo kommen wir
his
denn da
hand.
hin?
There's no good targets for him to bounce. He doesn't want to bounce back the genie to give.
Müssen wir uns
Ruizhe
auf das
more cards. He doesn't
Finale
wanna bounce
gedulden,
back,
bestimmt.
The Hades to allow for. The
Es sind
Hades
sogar
effect to
zwei
kick in once
Amethyst
again.
Steel in den
Benzema
Top
will
8.
here pretty
Ich
useless as
glaube,
well.
die waren auch in dem Bracket
So
so. Es kann sein, dass sie im Halbfinale schon gegeneinander
at
kommen.
this moment. He is eyeing 7
Sie
cards
waren
for the
entweder
basil,
so-
but once again, if he does play that, what is he going to bounce? Is he going to bounce his own Donald
Ja, entweder
Duck?
waren sie so 8.
Unlikely.
und 5. oder sie waren so 7.
But he's slowly running out of
Ahnung.
options.
So
Das wäre, glaube ich, immer noch das andere Bracket. Egal.
Calculating. You can see
Werden wir ja gleich erleben. Hier in der Top 8 sind noch 5 Minuten.
tension is now wow.
Wie lange
Yeah, I
soll es
mean,
noch
hey,
dauern?
look, props to
bis
these
die um
players,
sind?
right? They've been playing all the way
5
from
Minuten.
9
Keine
a.m.,
Ahnung.
guys, and right now it is 6,
Nobody
almost
knows.
6:30 local time, so these players have
Ja,
been
wir werden es
9
nie
hours straight. He
erfahren.
decides finally to use his basil undercover detective to bounce
Das ist auch
back
immer
the
sowas, was
genie,
Jay auslabert.
preventing Ruizhe from
So, dieser
questing
Man wiegt
2 more.
230
So,
Pfund.
potentially
Er wird
giving
so
himself
Gewicht
one
cutten
more
müssen
turn
auf
actually to come
205
back
Pfund
into
für den
this game.
Fight.
We do see 3 ink being eyed for something.
Niemand kann sagen, wie viel
Tipo
Pfund er
is
verlieren
going to be
muss.
used to push Benzema Will that we saw earlier, right? Because Benzema Will isn't going to be doing too much at this point.
I think the most crucial
Unknowable.
is chose,
Ja.
Beziehungsweise
nur von so
Mathematik
PhDs auszurechnen.
he used the ability on the
Wobei ironically genau die das am Ende auch nicht
Yeah, I
ausmerzen
mean, and this
können.
is what you get, right? You prevent your hand.
Erstaunlicherweise so Mathematiker im Rechnen relativ schlecht.
And on top of that, because you had the second Hades, you're pushing the Prince Philip down the next turn. So you can
Da sind besser so Physiker.
afford to do that. Chun-Tat actually choosing to challenge Tipo instead of questing, preventing.
Ich weiß noch, wie die Physiker und so uns kamen, als ich Mathe am Studieren war, so im ersten Semester, und dann kamen die Erstsemester Physiker so, ey, könnt ihr uns helfen? Wir schaffen es nicht, diese Integrale hier auszurechnen. Und wir, ausrechnen! Super geil, in was für einer Welt die leben. Wir hatten natürlich nur Proof. Und wenn dir die reellen Zahlen x und y zu abstrakt sind, dann feel free, die so durch die natürlichen Zahlen m und n zu ersetzen.
And so let's see. Probably he's going to aim the Mona. Probably.
I mean, Demona. Have you heard of
Because you
this
dare not
phrase?
to give free cast to your opponent.
But have you heard of this phrase before, Tom? If you can play a card that allows you to play your own game, wouldn't you play it? You would.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Don't quote me on that, guys. If you're tuning in,
Ne, keine
we
Sorge,
are
ich werde
here
das gar nicht
at the Hong
quoten.
Kong Disney Lorcana Challenge.
Oh,
We are
Jesus.
playing the top 8 matchup. We have a Blurple piloted by Ruizhe on the left, and we have a blue-green detectives by Chun-Tat on the right-hand side. Guys, we are in our final about 2.5 minutes left. You know,
Ja, genau,
it
was
is
passiert
very,
denn jetzt
very
gleich
intense.
überhaupt?
And thanks for joining us, I suppose.
And Brian, what happens when the time is called?
I believe it's +5 turns here,
Yeah.
right? So players will have 5 turns to finish up, and I think there will be enough time for us to finish this matchup specifically. As we see Ruizhe right now at 11, Lorcana at 5.
That's doch nichts mit Storytime.
Find a way to deal with these Hades,
hat
Hades,
noch
and Ruizhe
keine,
doesn't
nee.
have a hand card in his hand. Basil
Aber er hat
is not
halt
going to be super
einiges
effective,
an
for
Chars, die man
questing,
jetzt
so I
nicht
think
so
he's
ohne
looking
weiteres
at,
wegbekommt mit seiner
how he can kind of
No-Hand.
trade his board efficiently. Yeah, and look, this genie is
Ich
a
weiß
problem
nicht
as
genau,
well,
was er
right?
machen
So
wird. Er wird
basically,
bestimmt
because of
einen
2,
Hades halt
there's just so
abarbeiten.
much that Ruizhe can get from here, and there's only 2 minutes
Vielleicht
left in the clock.
den ohne Damage Counter.
So
Mit noch seinem
I think
Tipo
Chun-Tat
dann.
is quite
Oder er überfährt den Hades, aber er discardet lieber dem Gegner die Random.
Oh wait, there's 2 cards in Ruizhe's hand. My bad. So by questing for 2, you can
Dann macht er noch Tipo in den undamaged Hades und legt dann Prinz Philipp einfach.
Hat er Prinz Philipp da?
Ich weiß nicht, aber es ist möglich.
Wäre saftig, ne?
The Genie goes down, so that could have potentially been problematic for side of Chuntat, but you know what? It's yeah,
Na, dann ist kein
er macht
the
diesen
Basil that is going down here. Instead,
I think Chuntai is now aware of the timer, so he's now going to keep questing, keep chasing back to the Lord.
Ja, aber er ist doch tot jetzt.
So
yeah, but look here, right? Rachel, if he quests out, that's
er braucht
7.
Ultra den Herz der Karten-Top-Deck, damit er nicht kaputt ist gleich.
Doesn't have many turns left.
Er braucht so You're Welcome von oben into Combo.
Rachel is going to be able to finish this out in 2 turns if Rachel's board doesn't change. I wonder what Chuntat is looking for here. I mean, even Prince Philip isn't gonna
Ich verstehe echt nicht, warum er Hades nicht weggemacht hat.
Right, he needs
Hätte er
2
potenziell
cards.
sich
He needs
noch einen Turn kaufen können.
Malicious, Mean, and
So ist er
Scary,
jetzt vor
but
Schuhe im Arsch nächste Runde.
but there's only 2 cards that Chuntat can potentially draw. If it's not one of those 2 cards, then he can't. There's no way for him to win this.
if you're a Ruizhe, what will you do? Just questing?
Just quest out. I mean,
yeah.
there's not much, right? You know that Chuntat doesn't have any cards in his hand. We don't see a Malicious, Mean, and Scary. We don't see a Prince Philip for him to shift. So there's not much. There's not many options for Chuntat to actually play out his hand here. Reduce it. Iago coming down. Iago, just an efficient tool. Yeah, you're right. No Demona being played here. Demona is just ink at this point. You don't want to allow Chuntat to come back into the game. So it is going to be a quest 1, quest 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Brings him up to 18. Right now, Ruizhe, it's just 2 lore away from making it to his Golden Mickey.
Yeah, probably one Golden Mickey goes to Ruizhe right now.
Tot. Was soll das auch sein?
Especially he let Chuntat keep top decking for a few turns since he solved the Donald Duck into the Inkwell.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, time has just been called, so I believe time was called on Chuntat's turn, so it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will end on Rachel's turn, so Chuntat has 3 more turns left, but I believe this may just be the final turn. Chuntat looking for something, looking for nothing.
Vielleicht waren die Extrazüge schon vorbei.
The game goes over. Congratulations to Ruizhe for making it to top 4. Chuntat with an incredible blue-green deck. Congratulations for making it all the way here to the top 8. But that was a well-played game from Ruizhe, and congratulations for making it all the way to top 4 and locking yourself a Golden Mickey.
Yes, it is well deserved.
Dann ist das erste Emerald Sapphire raus, oder?
Ja.
Especially